So O.J. Simpson has died, finally. And now the stories are to unfold. A lot of people are going to be coming out. One, Nicole Manette, she had an NDA and she just broke a story. I'm going to tell you all about it. She has been waiting 29 years to tell this story about OJ. So she was a junior at USC working in Topping Student Center on campus in 1995. She was an administrative assistant to the president of Student Affairs and in the work study program. And in early 1995, Robert Shapiro and Robert Kardashian, they were both USC alumni. They walked up to her desk. They said they had an appointment with her boss. And she was studying to be a criminal defense lawyer with a dual major in poli-sci and international relations. So she knew who they were. The meeting lasted about 30 minutes. After they left, her boss took her outside and under a tree, smoked a cigarette for the first time in years, and told her to sign an NDA. She needed to sign this NDA because he didn't want her to confirm that OJ's lawyers were there for a meeting. Then he told her what the meeting was about. Before OJ could graduate from USC, the university had paid off 2 families of 2 blonde white girls that he had dated and battered. They had both gone to the LAPD to report it. One claims that he sexually assaulted her in their relationship. The school had a vested interest in OJ, with him being a football player, and they protected him at all costs. So OJ had been in custody for 6 months, and the lawyers were in the discovery process for the trial of OJ's friend Robert Kardashian, who knew OJ from also being a student at USC, thought it would be best if these stories never came to light. So a large check was written, given to her boss, and then they left. She'll never forget holding that check. So if you haven't heard this, this is just an example of what the stories are going to be coming out and now about OJ. And kudos to Nicole Manette. Not only am I proud that you're coming out and now speaking about this and doing what's right, even though it's years later, she changed her major to philosophy and psychology because she realized that she would be doing more harm to society and didn't want to pursue law. She can't stand the Kardashians. She thinks they're nothing but rich thugs. You judge.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder.
It was the trial of the century. O.J. Simpson, the star football player and Hollywood actor, accused of savagely murdering his ex-wife Nicole Brown and her friend Ron Goldman. An estimated 150 million people watched the verdict come in live. The trial was broadcast in classrooms, at workplaces, and even on the Oprah Winfrey Show, where audience members both cheered and cried as he was acquitted. Emotions usually falling along racial lines.
7A, a felony upon Nicole Brown Simpson.
Before the trial, Simpson was a popular actor, starring in Naked Gun movies. He gained fame in college, though, winning the Heisman Trophy while playing football for USC. Nicknamed the Juice, he went on to the NFL and shattered both rushing and touchdown records as a member of the Buffalo Bills. All that changed, though, on June 12th of 1994, as Brown and Goldman's bodies were found outside her LA condo. Simpson was an immediate suspect, and 5 days later he was ordered to surrender to police. Instead, he led them on a slow-speed chase down the 5 freeway to the 405 in that now infamous white Ford Bronco. His friend and former NFL player A.C. Cowlings behind the wheel. That evening, he surrendered at his Brentwood mansion. The trial began in 1995 with an all-star lineup of lawyers, nicknamed the Dream Team. One by one, they dismantled the state's evidence, claiming systematic racism and sloppy police work. The defining moment came when Simpson tried on gloves that were left at the murder scene. He struggled to put them on, and his lawyers used that in closing arguments to show it couldn't possibly be him.
Remember these words: if it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Shortly after Simpson was found not guilty, he went to trial again for the murders, but this time in civil court. He was found liable for Brown and Goldman's deaths there and ordered to pay more than $30 million in damages. Almost a decade later, Simpson wrote a book called If I Did It and hypothesized how he would have committed the murders. The book and subsequent interview on Fox went into great detail, and many considered it to be Simpson's confession.
I don't think any two people could be murdered the way they were without everybody being covered in blood.
While Simpson never served time for murder, he did go to prison in 2008 for armed robbery and kidnapping in Las Vegas. Simpson claimed that he was simply taking back sports memorabilia that was his. However, he spent almost 10 years behind bars. 14 million people tuned in as he was granted parole in 2017 at the age of 70.
To grant parole when eligible, and that will complete this hearing.
Thank you.
O.J. Simpson, a larger-than-life figure whose life and alleged crimes captivated an entire nation.
Khloe Kardashian has reacted to O.J. Simpson's death. It was recently announced to the press that O.J. is dead at age 76. His death was announced by his family on Twitter. In their statement, they said, "On April 10th, our father, Orenthal James Simpson, succumbed to his battle with cancer. He was surrounded by his children and grandchildren. During this time of transition, his family asks that you please respect their wishes for privacy and grace." This news shocked the whole world, and one person who was also shocked was Khloe Kardashian. Khloe's reaction to O.J.'s death has now finally been revealed. This all happened when a quote was posted on Instagram saying, "God's plan is always the best. Sometimes the process is painful and hard, but don't forget that when God is silent, He is doing something good for you." Khloe commented underneath this quote saying, "Amen." Because Khloe's comment was posted on April 11th, just hours after O.J. Simpson's death, people thought this comment is definitely her way of saying she's at peace with O.J.'s death, and she thinks that God always has a plan for everybody. One of the most persistent rumors that has always been in tabloids has been about Khloe Kardashian and the possibility that her biological father is not Robert Kardashian, but his close friend O.J. Simpson. These rumors have swirled for decades, fueled by perceived physical similarities between Khloe and Simpson, as well as questions about the timeline surrounding her birth. Khloe has denied these rumors and previously gave a statement saying, "This rumor is offensive and hurtful. My dad was my dad." End of story. Fans on social media are all discussing his death and sharing their opinions on it. One fan said, "Khloe is definitely O.J.'s daughter. They look identical. Khloe is like a white passing version of him. I think Kris definitely went there, and Khloe is definitely his daughter. The Kardashians can deny this all they want, but it's the truth. I don't think they will ever admit the truth, and it will be buried forever like O.J. Simpson." Another fan said, "A death is sad for anyone, no matter what they're accused of doing. Everyone has loved ones and people who care about them, so I hope everyone is respectful with their comments. I've already seen people writing vile things, and it just makes me feel sick and ill. Society is so hateful." And finally, one more fan said, "Didn't O.J. deny Khloe being his? I still don't believe him. Didn't Kris also admit in her book she had an affair when she was married to Robert? There is definitely something sketchy going on, and we aren't being told the truth like we deserve to be told." For this video's comment question, do you think it's wrong for people to accuse Khloe of being O.J.'s daughter?
I didn't know that there was abuse until we heard and saw it, the whole thing unfold like everybody else, and then heard the 911 tapes that had been, many of them, which were going to be used as evidence in the trial.
I can't believe that she was your friend and she didn't say to you, "I'm in trouble."
Me and some of her other close friends all were really surprised and shocked by that, because we felt like we really failed her as a friend. You go through this and you discover things about somebody, and it was horrible. Although, she and I were supposed to have lunch the next day, the day after she was murdered, and she said she wanted to show me some things and talk about what was in her safe. And so now, unfortunately, it all makes sense that that's probably what she wanted to reveal to me that next day, which broke my heart because I always feel horrible that I didn't pay enough attention.
How did you find out that she was murdered?
Her mom called me. I had known OJ since I was 17 years old. When I met Robert, I met OJ. So that was, a very long time ago. So he was like a big brother to me. And that morning, I was coming back from taking the kids to school, and I was supposed to meet Nicole. I was going to change and go meet her. And the phone rang, and my assistant said, Judy's on the phone. And I said, oh, tell her I'll call her right back. And then she talked to Judy for a second. She goes, no, you really need to take the call. And I picked up the phone, and she actually said, Nicole's been shot. And I said, what? I said, okay, I'm on my way. Where do I go? And she said, no, she didn't make it.